While Netflix was struggling to become profitable in 2000, Reed Hastings did the unexpected. Again, he took an additional job on California's State Board of Education.
Any of you who have tried to change large organizations know that half the battle is getting it on the right course. The second half of the battle is keeping it on that course.
He was appointed by then-Governor Gray Davis.
You know, if I was ever in a foxhole, I would like Reed Hastings with me, because we would have discussions about the next school board meeting, and we would argue over what that decision should be. But once, you know, we've kind of came to a decision, he went in there and he held his ground, and he got the reforms established.
Netflix, on the other hand, was anything but established, and heading into the dot-com dive.
How the mighty have fallen. According to a recent study by Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, the average internet stock is down 2/3 from its 52-week high.
Having long planned to go public, Netflix filed preliminary papers as the market spiraled down.
We faced a lot of obstacles in the first IPO attempt. The bubble had burst. There was the belief that that internet businesses had no substance behind them. There was the anthrax scare. There was 9/11. It was just like the perfect storm of everything going in the wrong direction.
Hastings canceled the IPO. In October 2001, Netflix had to lay off 1/3 of the company. Netflix was on the brink of disaster.
I think that between 1999 and 2002, Netflix could have gone under at any time had serious competition arisen.
As the year was closing, Hastings got the break he needed. The price of DVD players plunged, and Hastings slipped a coupon for a free trial of Netflix in nearly every new box. Business took off. With the company back on track, the much-delayed IPO became a reality. In 2002, Netflix went public. The stock rose 12% the first day to $16.75, but it was a double-edged sword. Heath Terry tracks Netflix as the managing director of internet research at Canaccord Genuity.
Going public got them a lot of attention, not just from consumers, but also from competitors. And so they were going to start seeing pretty significant competition from companies like Walmart and entrenched players like Blockbuster.
Walmart launched its competing service in 2003. A year later, Blockbuster also jumped in.
We initially launched kind of the same way Netflix did, which is free trial membership. You know, one of the most beautiful words in the American language is free. And that was getting us reasonable growth.
Blockbuster's monthly fee was also $2 less than Netflix, igniting a nasty price war. Netflix slashed its price. Blockbuster countered. Walmart edged under both, so Blockbuster cut to rock bottom. In a conference call on the end-of-the-year earnings, Hastings declared Blockbuster has thrown everything but the kitchen sink at us.
Quite frankly, myself and a couple of key members of our management team were sitting in my office listening to the conference call. Someone said, well, why don't we send him a kitchen sink? I said, good idea. Next day we shipped one out. At that point, the rivalry was definitely established.
The fierce competition on multiple fronts took its toll. Netflix stock plunged 75%. Analyst Michael Pachter commented that Netflix is a worthless piece of crap with really nice people running it.
I was convinced that Blockbuster would compete effectively, and so it seemed to me that if Blockbuster was determined to retain its customers, then Netflix would disappear.
Hastings wasn't going down without a fight. He sacrificed profits to drive back the competition and maintain the company's growth. It became a war of attrition.
The view that you had out there was that Netflix wasn't going to be able to survive this level of competition from a lot of people, and that Blockbuster and then Walmart were ultimately just going to squeeze the profits out of Netflix. And I think what both companies found in pretty short order was this business was a lot harder than they thought.
While the battle with Blockbuster and Walmart raged, Reed Hastings suffered a personal setback. For 4 years, Hastings had championed public school reform on California's State Board of Education. But when he pushed for more English in bilingual programs, he was pushed out by Democratic representatives.
It was a blow to him, and it was surprising, and it was I would think somewhat even humiliating to be turned down by your own political party. But he said, if this is the issue that you want to kick me off the state board about, then I go proudly with my head held high.
Hastings focused his attention on his company's battle for the DVD by mail business, and in the middle of 2005, the tide began to turn. Walmart pulled out, giving Netflix their rental customers in exchange for promoting their sales. Blockbuster was gaining subscribers, but losing hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, it was Hastings' turn to call someone nice.
We're not against Blockbuster. They're all nice people. But our goal is to offer a better service that consumers prefer us to them, and that eventually that does result in them closing.
In 2007, at the Sundance Film Festival in Utah, Antioco said he was called to a private summit with Hastings to explore the possibility of a deal.
His preference would have been for Netflix to buy Blockbuster online, and what we proposed back was a merger.
It never got beyond talks because of concerns about antitrust regulations. By 2008, Antioco was gone, and Blockbuster backed away from its online business.
They lost hundreds of millions of dollars trying to compete with Netflix, and they just didn't have the cash to keep up competing at the level. And you knew at some point they were going to have to give up, and ultimately that's what happened.
It was a triumph for Netflix. But no sooner had Hastings secured the movie-by-mail business than he launched a new service that would mean the demise of the DVD.